Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. We are continuing the rise of nationalism. This chapter is very big, that is why we are slowly trying to understand various dimensions of this chapter. In this chapter or in this topic, we are going to discuss about Swadeshi movement. Before that, small announcement, the IAS Mentor has come up with a proper mentorship program. For further details, please keep following the IAS Mentor channel. When it comes to Swadeshi movement, we can consider this movement is the beginning of extremist phase in Indian National Congress. In the previous class, we have already seen that what are the factors for the rise of extremist idea, that the British are not helping the Indians, they are exploiting Indians. That's why we should go beyond extra constitutional, or we should go beyond constitutional methods to get what we demand. That movement comes with this particular movement called Swadeshi movement. This movement is the first mass movement. First mass movement in Indian freedom struggle. And thereafter, it laid the foundation for the tradition of mass movement. Then so many programs, so many movements are going to come. More and more people, common people are going to participate for the sake of freedom. We have to know what are the factors why Swadeshi movement started and also spread and the impact of it. It is very important both from the mains point of view also as well as prelims point of view also. Already by this time you already got considerable idea that what are the factors for the rise of nationalism. Then Indian National Congress early leadership, that is moderates. Moderate phase also you have seen, their success, their limitations. Later we understood what are the various factors for the rise of extremist ideology also. When these developments are going on from the Indian side, from the British side also you got an idea. Viceroys like Lord Curzon, what kind of steps they were taking. Simply, this is British. British wanted to control Indian territories completely because English are depending on Indian resources. Their power, their prestige, their wealth is dependent on India. But if you see the size of British, it is not even this much. What is the size? Size is a very small one. England. In comparison with the Indian size and England size, you see this? But only because of ideology, because of ideas, because of technology, scientific progress, in general, European atmosphere, the political, social, religious, cultural atmosphere of Europe enabled this tiny island control this much big Indian subcontinent. This is what the crux. Now by 1900, this dependence increased a lot. Their wealth in United Kingdom is becoming wealthy because of Indian territories. It has become the most powerful nation on the earth, most powerful empire on the earth, not nation, empire, because it constitutes so many nationalities. Main reason is their control over Indian subcontinent. That's why Indian Colony is also called crown in the or jewel, bright jewel in the British crown. And it is not surprising also, the moment they are going to lose the control over this Indian subcontinent, the position, the power, the prestige, everything is going to vanish. That you are already seeing the present condition of United Kingdom in comparison with Indian condition. This itself is an evidence to prove that India is very much important for their survival. So naturally, they will never lose India at any cost. Even if the forces are very strong in India to sever the ties, British tried their best to control India as much as they can. That desperation is coming in the form of partition of Bengal. Now, the moment British introduced that policy partition of Bengal, immediately Indians are going to respond with the Swadeshi movement. So it is like it is on both sides. The point has arrived for both British as well as Indians that it is a survival for them, and Indians by this time understood the true nature of the British, true colors of the British. Now Indians started really understanding that this is not going to help India. This relationship cannot be continued in the same manner. It has to change. So Swadeshi movement is a kind of important inflection point for both India as well as Britain, that whatever development that are going to take place hereafter for Britain and for India, it is a point of no return. Gradually, British are going to lose Indian territories hereafter, step by step. And when it comes to Indian side, gradually Indians are going to get freedom step by step. So it is their loss beginning, it is Indian gain starting. That is why this is very, very important development in Indian history. The factors or the immediate triggering point was the partition of Bengal. Partition of Bengal. In which year? 1905. Remember, these are all important prelims questions are also coming. Some important personalities, some developments and so on. Partition of Bengal in 1905. Now, why did partition was planned by Lord Curzon? British used to say that from the British point of view, Bengal is very big. Bengal is very big province. It was constituting Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, East Bengal. In the present day states wise, West Bengal, Bangladesh, Bihar, Odisha. When it comes to the population, population is around 8 crore. But overall population around 30 crore, or say like 32 crore. That means 1/4, 25% of the British population is living in Bengal alone. 25%. So naturally, it's very large population wise, difficult to administer also. British used to say that for administrative convenience, we are trying to break this. But the real intentions with evidence, Indians complained that you are not doing just for the sake of administrative convenience. Your hidden motives are something different. That motives is to break Indian nationalism spirit. Why? Bengal is hotbed of nationalist activities. Nationalist activities. In comparison with Punjab, Bombay, Madras, why Bengal is the hotbed of nationalist activities? Number one, this is the first position. This is the capital of British Empire. And British got Bengal in the earliest stages itself, 1757, 1764. They got this golden bird in their hands. Since then, exploitation is continuing. The peasants in Bengal, artisans in Bengal, small traders in Bengal, everyone got affected. Famines have taken place. In 1770 itself, in the initial stages of British administration itself, Bengal famine took place. One third of the population perished. Completely, they have ruined the traditional way of life. And capital is also located there. Christian missionaries, European culture dominating in this area. Naturally, outcome or the reaction also going to be initially coming from this kind of situation only. Initially, socio-religious reformers felt that these developments are going to help India. That is why, again, Raja Ram Mohan Roy also come from this region. So many socio-religious reformers are going to come from this region. The earliest evidence of Indian nationalism spirit also going to come from this region only. If you see landholder society, Raja Ram Mohan Roy himself started the political awareness among the public. Then different organizations also created. That kind of political spirit or the spirit of nationalism also kindled in this region. By 1900s, by 1900, by 1905, this got affected with the nationalist ideas. As I explained in the previous classes, empire and nationalism will not coexist. British Empire constitutes so many nationalities. If the different nationalities ask independence, empire will not, itself will not exist. Empire, the basis of empire is to control different nationalities with force. But if nationalism becomes successful, then they have to give independence. Then empire will vanish. Both will not go together. Go together. That's what they have already had experience of American nationalism. American colonies got independence. They fought with the British. They got finally they had to leave American colonies. Because of India, they are now enjoying this power and status. Now, why would they want to leave or completely lose this opportunity also? They are not going to do. And at the same time, Indians also by 1905 clearly understood what they are preaching, what they are promising, and what they are giving, no, not matching. That is why this is the earliest place exploitation is clearly visible. Socio-religious reforms also started early. Nationalism spirit also started early. Now, nationalist activities are everywhere here. Now, what is the solution from the British point of view? How can they curtail this? Because if they don't curtail this spirit is going to devour, eat the empire, the very essential of empire itself. Then they don't want to do that. It is their survival. And the person who already there as viceroy, he is a very imperialist person. If the person is a person who is trying to reconciliating the situation, then they would have taken a different kind of policy. But the person who is sitting here as head of this administration himself do not want to give any kind of chance to these activities. He is imperialist. That means anti-nationalist. Then anti-nationalist movement. Then he is going to take very harsh steps towards Indian nationalism. Real motives are to curtail nationalist activities. So to break Indian nationalism spirit, to curtail the spirit of nationalism in Bengal. Already by this time, Surendranath Banerjee, Anand Mohan Bose, Bipin Chandrapal, Aravindo Ghosh, different kinds of leaders, they are spreading the idea of nationalism. This is the place where many revolts also taken place. Sannyas revolt, initial, one of the earliest revolts, Sannyas revolt also took place here only. Now the new generation are continuously reminding or remembering how their ancestors were continuously fighting against injustice. Now the latest generation, young generation also wanted to fight in the same manner to get freedom. That's why Bankim Chandra Chatterjee has written Anand Math also. He is using the storyline of Sannyasi revolt only. From there, Vande Mataram, that song also emerged from the work of Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. The Bharat Mata concept also coming from Bankim Chandra Chatterjee's novels. So this way, this region is going to see a kind of nationalism spirit very, very strongly. They don't want to do that because already in Europe, empires are vanished. Empires already vanished by this time. Holy Roman Empire completely dissolved. Austrian Empire collapsed. And Ottoman Empire is also about to collapse. Russian Empire is about to collapse. The spirit is nationalism only. Now the turn is the British Empire. They don't want to do that. That is why to curtail the spirit of nationalism, this is the hidden motive. But for the outside, they used to say that administrative convenience is not there. 25% of the population is there in single province. We cannot handle this. That is why we are dividing. Indians asked, no problem, this is very big province, it is good. Then use a method which is not going to divide the people. But what is the basis they have taken for division of Bengal means that is religion. Religion they have taken as the basis to divide it. When it comes to East Bengal, Muslim majority, East Bengal, Muslim majority, and when it comes to remaining West Bengal, Hindu majority. If they want to divide Bengal into administrative convenience, they would have done like Odisha speaking, Bengal speaking, Hindi speaking belt like that. Bengal speaking population in one, because it becomes easy if you divide a province on linguistic basis. It becomes easy for the people also to communicate, to administer. That is what after independence, Indian states are administered or divided based on language, reorganized on the basis of language. And as a result, today we don't have any problem. In fact, it strengthened India's unity. Like Marathi speaking, Kannada speaking, Tamil speaking, Telugu speaking, like that it created. In the same manner they would have done based on language, but based on religion they have done. It kindled the communal angle. Communal tensions are going to start now. The British administrators started creating an atmosphere of communal tensions in Bengal. They were going to the Muslim leaders and telling that now in the kind of modern politics, modern nationalism, in democracy, majority matters. In India, majority were Hindus. The organization, Indian National Congress, which is representing this political aspiration, is dominated by Hindus only. But the leaders in INC do not have that kind of consciousness. They are working beyond religion, beyond region, beyond caste. But when it comes to British, it had projected INC as a Hindu organization. Once British give independence to India, or if any political concessions if they give to India, these political leadership is going to come from Hindus only. But traditionally, earlier under Bengal Nawabs, Mughal Empire, Delhi Sultans, Hindus were under Muslim rulers. Now in this kind of new atmosphere, you Muslims will never get power again. But you are the powerful one and you are going to lose in this game. But who have taken the power from Bengal Nawab? Is Hindus or British? That's what they are going to create, this kind of political atmosphere, communal atmosphere. As a result, Muslim leaders, some leaders are going to be conservative. They started taking this as the point, this as an opportunity to further their political interests. That is how these communal tensions are going to begin. That is going to completely lead to partition of Bengal also. Partition of India itself, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is what the partition of Bengal only. The origin goes to this period only. They are going to legalize this administration, legalize this communal division gradually hereafter through various legislations. That is what the hidden motive. Could you see the real motive or hidden motive versus what Britishers were trying to explain to the outside world? Administrative convenience is the one which they used to say, but in reality, this is the hidden motive. By this time, Indians are not ignorant people. For the last 100 years, Britishers were continuously saying this kind of narrative and they tried to rule India. But now, by this time, already enough experience Indians had. Indians already had enough experience. 1857 revolt. During that time period itself, whatever promises they made to Awadh, broken. Doctrine of lapse, broken. Subsidiary alliance, broken. Then, whatever they promised in 1858, Queen's Proclamation. Queen's Proclamation that they are not going to discriminate between English people and Indians, but continuous discrimination. 1861, Indian Councils Act. British were proudly saying that they are here to introduce representative government, parliamentary form of government, democracy, modern democratic form of government, but the provisions are not including Indians. Indian representatives are not there. Even if they are given, very few people, and that too from the elite section like Raja Maharajas. Now, in 1892, whatever Indians were demanding, whatever concessions they have given, not matching again, Indian Councils Act. On one hand, they are saying that they are going to respect the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but in reality, what they are? Press restriction. So whatever they are saying and whatever policies they are taking, not matching. Press restrictions, freedom of association, not encouraged. Nationalism spirit, they are abusing. If universities are there, they are going to increase the official control. If local self-governments are there, they are not giving chance to the people to participate, official control. When people are reeling under famines, British were enjoying in lavish life. On one hand, the proclamations and laws, they are saying that we don't want to discriminate, we want to give equal opportunity. But where is the real opportunity? Real opportunity or equal opportunity? Indian civil services, Indians are not able to get good positions in the higher positions. Always British enjoy the officer status. Only lower level clerks, lower level bureaucracy comes from Indians, and this lower level bureaucracy do not have powers also, salaries also very limited, and they were abused by the officers. It is same in police department, military department, civil service department. Indians were paying the taxes, but if famine comes, if rainfall fails, if crops fail, no concession even for the poorest of the poor peasants also. That is how education, they are expecting modern education, but they are not giving funds to education. They are expecting welfare policies, they are not taking anything. When famines are there, when people are dying, they just used to say that we don't want to interfere in the market, and they are exploiting whatever resources are there from India. Indian resources are being drained to London. India is wealthy country, but Indians are very poor. Indian resources are taken by the British. Clear distinction is seen by this time period. All these things were highlighted now through press, through meetings, educated section clearly understanding this. Now no more, they cannot, British cannot hide this fact for any longer. That is why. And in addition to that, even in Europe also, some changes are happening. They themselves were fighting for the sake of colonies. They, on one hand, they are saying European civilization is to civilize uncivilized people, but their real intentions are to get colonies, to get resources from the third world countries or colonies. It's very clear by this time period Indians understood. And also the myth of European invincibility, that Europeans were superior, wherever they go and fight, Europeans only will win. That kind of narrative was built, but Japan proved that it is nothing. A small, tiny country can, with determination, can defeat mighty empire also. Africans defeated Italians. In this way, both developments within India as well as outside India made Indians very confident. Indian historical research, Indian historians also highlighted how progressive Indians were in ancient times, in medieval times. Always there will be circumstances or situations where India was not developed, but it doesn't mean overall India itself uncivilized. In the first place, if India is not that rich, not that civilized, why would British or other Europeans come to India? Why would they risk traveling all the way in the sea and come to India, starting from Vasco da Gama? Their main intention is to reach India. They have taken that much risk. If nothing is there in India, why would they search for India? That is why Indian historians highlighted all these facts, that we should not feel low. We should always feel self-confident that India is one of the richest places, one of the places where entire world respected since ancient times, and we should get that back. That now the motivation is now coming from within India, the Indian roots only. People like Swami Vivekananda highlights greatness of Indian civilization. Now people started feeling proud. In the initial phases, the British narrative is Indian society is degraded one, Western society or English society is advanced one, their presence will help India. But now Indians clearly understood it is only hypocrisy. No doubt they have made some progress, but definitely British are not here to uplift every Indian. They have their own personal interests. British interests are there. Whatever they are narrating that degraded society, it is not the case. Indian society also flourished once and developed once. India contributed a lot for the human history also. Only that we forgot some of them and we need to just remember them. That's that glorious past also coming out. It created a sense of self-confidence among Indians. With that, Indians changed by this time. That is why when British were trying to create this kind of narrative and atmosphere, Indians do not want to fall into this trap. Now, Indians are going to respond for this official step. So that response is coming from Swadeshi. Right? So immediately, the moment the partition in 1905, huge protest. Hindu-Muslim unity is clearly visible. Anti-partition movement. Anti-partition movement. Now, they understood British are depending on India for its economic resources. India was converted into market. Indians started Swadeshi or first boycott. We will not use British goods. We need not to depend on machine-made products from England. We create our own products, Swadeshi products. British goods boycotted and Indians started patronizing Indian artisan products, Swadeshi movement. Next, self-confidence. Self-confidence or Atma Shakti. Leaders filled Indians with self-confidence. This is visible even in art and culture also. Science also. So now the Indians are responding to the very core issue that when it comes to Indian society, India is dependent. British narrative is India needed British help. Now Indians are proving we don't require you. Your machines are not required for us. We were already having enough handicrafts. We need not to get preachings from Western civilization and Western philosophy because already we have this kind of philosophy since ancient times like Upanishadic thought, Vedantic thought. And all religions are preaching the similar kind of ideas only. Whatever Buddha was preaching, it is equal to enlightenment only. Whatever Upanishads were preaching, that is enlightenment only. Bhakti movement, Sufi movement, whatever ideas they were preaching, it is equal to enlightenment only. So this kind of enlightenment is not something new in England only, in Europe only. India already witnessed such kind of developments multiple times. That confidence, again, ideologically also we need not to depend on your ideology. And when it comes to art and culture also, we should not degrade ourselves. We had rich culture, Ajanta, Ellora. By this time, Archaeological Survey of India also excavated many things. By this time, many things, historical research, archaeological evidences came out very clearly that how rich Indian culture is. They are reviving it. We need not to get preachings from you. Already, whatever you are thinking you are great, that kind of evidence already visible in India. In terms of science also, Indians are going to participate in the scientific progress and some of the scientists also going to emerge from Swadeshi period only. Whatever today we are calling radio, telecommunication, radio waves, Jagdish Chandra Bose, he was one of the pioneer in that technology. So that kind of Swadeshi scientist also emerged. So they are going, Indians are responding to British policies to the very core, in the very core manner. Whatever the ideology which Britishers were continuously propagating, now Indians are taking that ideological inspiration from India only. And whatever British were saying that we are degraded one, Indians are proving it is not the case. For some time period may be true, but you cannot bluff Indians always every time. That is what Swadeshi and boycott movement means this only. Hindu-Muslim unity, British wanted to divide. Indians showed they by tying Iraqis, Hindu-Muslim unity was showcased. Huge number of masses came to the protest, came to the streets and they protested against it. And when it comes to Swadeshi products, Indians now started promoting, patronizing Indian handicrafts. That's what they have broken the handloom. Now, once again, Indians are trying to patronize Indian products. We boycott your products, we will not take, and we want to use our products, and taking inspiration from Indian roots, and a revival of art and culture, science also. Science also. All right. So this way, Swadeshi movement responded in this manner. Next one. When it comes to spread, when it comes to spread in different places, here Lala Lajpat Rai, here Bal Gangadhar Tilak, here Bipin Chandra Pal, Aravindo Ghosh, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, Syed Haidar Raja in Delhi, here Bipin Chandra Pal, Aravindo Ghosh, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, Balagangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai. These are the extremist leaders, and moderate leaders are there. Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Surendranath Banerjee. Moderate leaders also there. And in this way, the movement started in Bengal, but it is spread to other parts as well. During this movement, Rabindranath Tagore has written Amar Sonar Bangla, became very famous. Vande Mataram became song during protests. People started singing. Next, Abanindranath Tagore painted Bharat Mata. Identify this, Bharat Mata. In this way, now through paintings, through songs, Indians are inspiring Indians that we should not get low, we should not abuse ourselves, we should respect our tradition, and they try to create self-confidence among Indians. Abanindranath Tagore, Vande Mataram, Amar Sonar Bangla. Identify this, Bharat Mata. Different painters also emerged during this time period, like Nandalal Bose. When it comes to science, Jagdish Chandra Bose, P.C. Ray, Bengal Chemical Factory was established. Jagdish Chandra Bose pioneered in different scientific progress, in like life to the plants, biology. He contributed. For radio also, radio invention also he contributed, but he did not patent it. When it comes to Europeans, they used to patent and they used to own that. But Jagdish Chandra Bose used to say that the knowledge is for everyone. I don't want to patent it. In this way, P.C. Ray. Science also, culture also, politics also. When it comes to economy, Indians, common people boycotted British goods and promoted handicrafts. Now, during this time period, all sections like students participated, women participated, Hindus participated, Muslims participated. Identify? So, in this way, different sections of the people, along with Bengal. Bengal is the place where partition took place. Naturally, this movement is more in Bengal. But apart from Bengal, in other places also they tried to take. Now, what is the attitude of Indian National Congress? It's like a spontaneous one. Now it is beyond Indian National Congress it started. Now Indian National Congress wanted to give a platform, an organized form for this anger. Indian National Congress also now going to respond. Indian National Congress in 1905 under the leadership of Gopalakrishna Gokhale passed a resolution that they are against partition. Anti-partition resolution was passed and they demanded that this has to be reverted. In 1906, Dadabhai Nauroji was president of Congress. This session was held in Calcutta because it is the hotbed of the movement. Now decided that Swaraj is now goal of Indian National Congress. Identify this term. So far this term is not there, Swaraj. But here Swaraj means not full independence. The meaning of Swaraj here is like a dominion status. Already British colonies like Australia, New Zealand, they are having some kind of autonomy. Canada, they were given some autonomy, dominion status. They were part of British Empire only, but they have autonomy locally. That's what Indians are also expecting, this dominion status. Balagangadhar Tilak used to say that Swaraj is my birthright. So the definition of Swaraj also gradually enhanced at this point of time. Swaraj is my birthright. Swaraj has become the goal of Indian National Congress. So first time this Swaraj has become the goal of Indian National Congress. That resolution was also passed. Now within Indian National Congress, now some people started demanding that let us take this issue beyond Bengal. Indian National Congress, many leaders wanted to restrict, moderate leaders wanted to restrict this movement to Bengal. Solidarity is coming from across India, but Indian National Congress as an organization wanted to restrict its main activities to Bengal because this is a Bengal issue. Whereas extremist leaders wanted, it is not Bengal issue alone. This is the attitude of the British. This is same everywhere. Today it happened here, tomorrow it will happen anywhere also. That is why we should take this movement across the Indian subcontinent. Then only we can put pressure on British. But moderates were afraid that if you take additional causes, then British will use the force and they suppress and masses. And anyway, since beginning masses, they are not dependent on masses. Moderate leaders are not believing in masses. That is why they are not that much encouraging to this kind of proposal. That led to split in Surat in 1907. Indian National Congress split into two groups, moderates and extremists. So within 2 years, the Indian National movement also gradually came down. And the mass movement, the nature of mass movement itself is like this. Initially, people are in charged mood because of the exploitative policies of the British. They came to the protests, into the streets. But after 1 month, 2 months, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years, gradually, masses cannot sacrifice their lives forever. Some leaders are ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of the nation, but common people cannot do that because if they don't work on the fields, how they get the food? They do not have sufficient resources. They do not have sufficient savings. They have to come back to the regular activities. That is why gradually the mass movement nature itself, it will rise and it will fall. But within Indian National Congress, the leadership also could not understand this and they were fighting internally. That led to Indian National Congress split. And the British took this as an advantage and they imprisoned extremist leaders and they sidelined moderate leaders. In this way, Indian subcontinent has witnessed first mass movement. You remember what are the real factors and what are the hidden factors and the spread of movement in different places and also leaders from different places. All right, now let me give you the questions. So this is about Swadeshi movement. Questions. Number one, Swaraj has become the official resolution of Congress in which year? Second one. Second one. Who was the viceroy who partitioned Bengal? Which viceroy partitioned Bengal? Third one. Third one. Bengal leadership during Swadeshi movement. Some leaders. Next. Indian science. Indian scientist during Swadeshi movement. Fifth one. In Madras, Swadeshi leader. Answer these questions. While you are reading these questions, you will come to know, you will revise the entire thing in the brain. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.